In the fall, Oli went to Rutgers. Actually, in the early summer, went to Rutgers. He had himself an interesting first season, to say the least. Iovino, 5-star quarterback, number 68th recruit in high school at the end of his senior season, won Garfield High School a state championship, went on to be drafted in the Major League Baseball 14th round by the Boston Red Sox, but decided, you know what, it's still going to be college football, and he decided to commit to the hometown Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I asked all the differences between college and high school. He said it's just faster. Everything is, the days go by quicker. The time you have isn't as profound. You have to juggle so much. Being a Division I athlete is like being a professional athlete in terms of time given. You have to train. You have to study film. You have to be a good leader, be a good teammate. You have to do all of these things. It seems like there's so little time to do them all. On top of that, you have school. On top of that, you have relationships. On top of that, you have all this other stuff. So just how fast it is the big difference that I've noticed so far. It's been fun, but it's been quick. Obviously, the game is faster. Obviously, the game is tougher. All these guys are better. All these guys were the guys in their respective high schools. I can't do the things I used to do, at least not yet. I have to find a different way to do those things, I think I should say. Like, I could get by squeezing a ball in a tight area in certain parts of the game. I can't do that now. In the early practices, I've seen that. Obviously, we're also getting more attention. The NIL being what it is. I'm a 5-star quarterback, one of the biggest recruits Rutgers has ever gotten. I'm getting a lot of opportunities knocking at the door, seeing everyone come up to me and know who I am is weird in a different way. It happened back home, but it happened back home, and I knew it was happening back home because I knew who I was. They've known me since I was young. I don't know these people, and they know me, which is very, very, very weird. I asked him how he adapted to the faster pace of life. He gave me this. He said that being a college quarterback is so much fun. And with that, and because of how fast it is what makes it that fun. Every day's a new day. Every day's a new challenge. It seems a little cliche, but that's just the truth. Every day is different, and you have to figure something out. Teammates we're implementing a new play. All right, I have this class that I'm studying for that I don't really like, or something like that. Stuff of that nature is what really makes a big difference here. Being a leader with a different group of guys is different. Being just being around campus is so cool. And I've adjusted nice. I feel like I was in the spotlight. I feel like, I had reporters coming up to me in high school. I had all this stuff going around. But it's been nice to settle in. I went to Rutgers with Oli. We're not exactly roommates, but we hang out often. And all this that he's saying is not wrong. I see, when we talk, people come up to me asking me how I know him. And it's almost like I'm a little celebrity as well. And writing for the Scarlet paper here on Rutgers has been very, very fun in my short time doing so. Not only following Oli, but following the other sports teams around, like the soccer teams and the women's volleyball team and things of that nature. Has been very, very fun. I got to sit down with Oli and ask him how his first game went. He said, Vinny, it's the most electric thing I've ever done to date. He played an FCS team and show. They weren't as great as us, but it was so fun going out there in front of all the people, hearing your name get called over the loudspeaker. This is the place I won a high school championship at, and that it pales in comparison to how electric and raucous it was during that first day. It's incredible the passion everyone has. It's incredible the spirit that's around. It really does feel like there's history here that you have to uphold, that you have a right and a duty to go out there and perform. A little nerve-wracking, sure, but as you know, I'm the man with no fear. It just is what it is. You go out there, you just do what you have to do. After that second drive, I felt like I was locked in. I was able to really read the defense well. I really understood the playbook, what we were trying to do, all the concepts we were trying to do. I was trying to get as many receivers as I can involved, and obviously Kyle, one of the best running backs in the nation. We got to give him his touches too, and I'm fine with that. Definitely okay with letting him go, and but anyway, the experience in that first game is something that I don't think I'll ever get back. I followed up and said that you do have some really good teammates. Rutgers is a good team. They're not this bottom-feeder team. This is a very good team in a very tough conference. How has it been with your teammates? It's been very fun. It's been obviously the quarterback room is very, very cool. They're accepting. Coming in as a freshman starting isn't always the most accepted thing, and I'm sure that even though they're want this team to succeed, they want to be the ones in the driver's seat. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but also not trying to give up this job either. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very, 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 very long time. It's something that I want to do for the next 3-4 years. Start for this Rutgers team is what I want to do. Our running back room has been awesome. Obviously, like I said, Kyle, we've been hanging out a lot, trying to get lunch every day when our schedules line up. Obviously, lifting weights together is something that we do outside of team or position group-based workouts. So it's been super cool just to learn everybody, know everybody. As a leader of this team, you need to do all those things. And Kyle's been a very, very strong support system. Being a young quarterback, having a very good running back on your side is awesome. I feel like we're going to give him as many touches as he needs this year, both in the passing game and the running game. He is the true star here at Rutgers. So getting in with them, getting in with some of the upperclassmen has been very, very helpful. At halftime of Oli's first game, he had almost 200 passing yards. Rushed for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown. Rutgers was really taking it to the astronauts of FCS East. And in talking to Oli, I asked him what did he see. He said that the game just came natural, one of those out-of-body experiences where I had some issues in high school reading defenses, knowing where to go with the ball, not trying to do too much, something that I struggled with in high school. In this game, it just all clicked. I was going in the right spots with the ball. I knew when to get the ball out, how much touch I needed with the ball. I knew what the defense was trying to do. And I was going out there and executing what we had to do. Pushing the pace, but also taking what was given. Moving around, I'm not the most athletic guy, but I can run when given the opportunity. So seeing that come, unfold for me, running for huge yards at a rushing touchdown, almost had a second one before they called one back, but then was able to go back and get a passing touchdown afterwards. Not forcing anything, I think, is my biggest takeaway from this game. In practice, I was, getting picked off a little bit, doing the usual Iovino things, trying to force balls in, using my arm, and thinking that it's a lot better than it actually is. Especially when you get to this level, it humbles you quite easily. So in this game, I tried to just take what the defense is giving you. Go with the flow. Do what you need to do. Don't turn the ball over. And we were very successful with that. We pulled up a really, really, really big win in front of the home crowd. It was super fun. It's something that I want to do. Look around the landscape of college football. You see how the Big Ten is constructed, obviously, with all those former Pac-12 schools coming into the mix. You have the Penn States, the Michigans, the Ohio States, the Wisconsins of the world in that conference, as it already was. You have Nebraska, who's fallen off, but still an electric place to be, and a team that is on the come up as of late. Have the Iowas is always a tough match. You have a rivalry game against Maryland. Now you add Oregon. You add Washington. You add UCLA, USC, all these other pretty good Pac-12 schools, and it's tough. And I asked Oli. I said, Oli, when you have to go to Happy Valley, when you have to go to the Horseshoe, when you have to go to the Big House, and you have all these teams that you have to conquer, does it scare you? He said, not that it doesn't scare me, but it's a challenge that I'm respectful of, but that I want. Oli has always been the most confident guy in the room. Not the most cocky guy. I feel like he walks that line pretty well, but even I was like, buddy, are you all right? This is going to be a tough test for Iovino. Oli has been a guy that has come up and accepted every challenge, has conquered just about every challenge that he can, and I feel like he's going to do that here as well. Looking at, or talking to Oli again more, just kind of expanding on those teams, he told me, Vinny, we grew up watching college football every Saturday. We would have a game Friday, watch college football all day Saturday, NFL Sunday, and then go back to work on Monday. I've watched these teams. I've wanted to play against these teams for so long, and it feels like I'm finally here. It feels like I've finally come to accept that this is where I need to be. Michigan be damned, Ohio State be damned. I want it. I want to face off against these really, really good teams. I want to show off what I can do, what we can do, what Rutgers can do, what New Jersey can do, and that's what it means to me. I'm not afraid of the defending national champion. I'm not afraid of teams that have been at the top of the mountain for the last 10 years. I'm not afraid of teams that are perpetually in the college football rankings and top 10 team nationally. I'm not afraid of those challenges. I welcome those challenges. Will I win every challenge? I hope so, but I also know that that's unlikely. I have to play extremely well, and I know I'm capable of it. But I just want to go out there, and I just want to compete, and I just want to have fun. This conference is something that I went out. Obviously, being close to home is important. You know how important it is to be in the New Jersey community, how important it is to be around my family, how important it is to have that support system so close to me. But also so you go to the Big Ten, which is arguably, other than the SEC, even with the SEC, it's probably the best conference in the country. You're going to a team that is in that same breath of those other schools you were mentioning. Up-and-coming team. And show what we can do. Put New Jersey on the map against the best of the best. There's nothing better than that. In week 2, Oli took on Akron, the Zips, in the MAC conference. And he was feeling it just like he was against FCS East. Again, he's been putting a lot of work in the film room. It's hard to get a chance to go hang out with him just because he's doing so much, preparing for games, knowing teammates, doing all that extra stuff. He's also got some NIL deals. I was able to get a free haircut, telling the barber that hooked him up that I was part of the team too. So that was super cool. So his recognition has been super fun to follow. Obviously, been following him for a very, very long time, but it's something different here. It means more. it just means a little bit different. Here in the second quarter, Iovino just, again, picking apart this defense, taking what it is being given to him, and able to, he dropped the ball in the bucket earlier for a very deep touchdown pass. But he's been living more underneath, been living more kind of in that intermediate. And he told me, just like he was telling me before, I get a little too tricky, and we see it here where he tries to force in a ball late and it gets picked off for his first collegiate turnover, his first collegiate interception. But he said that, I've learned early that I'm not the best player on the field right now. I don't have the arm that I did. It's not getting past people the way it used to. And I need to work on that. And I'm trying to be more of a quarterback and less of a thrower, if that makes sense. Obviously, I feel like I'm very good. I will never say that I'm not very good or feel that I'm not very good. I'll always have that thought that I'm the best player in the room, the best player on the field, I'm the best player that any of these people in the crowd has ever seen. But I always understand the work that comes with that, and the work and the responsibility that comes with that to maintain that way of thinking. But for the first time in my life, I didn't feel that way. For the first time, I didn't inherently believe in my soul that I was that way. So I'm just trying to get better, get to a spot where I believe I can get back to there. And then we'll see what happens. But I just don't want to do anything to mess up the team. I don't want to do anything to lose trust in our coaches, lose trust in my players. Taking what's given to me. I'm not forcing things. I'm still using my arm. I'm still using my wits. But that is just what I have on that situation. Iovino ended up playing very well against Akron. Did have 2 picks there, his first 2 college turnovers. So I guess the bug has still followed him to Piscataway, New Jersey. He then took on one of his biggest challenges yet, his first road game. He had to go to Virginia Tech, one of the more electric environments in college football. And this game was tough for Oli. He did not play his best. And when he got back, a little disheveled, I asked him kind of what his experience was. He said, it felt like you were in the zoo and you were one of the zoo animals. It really did. And it's nice being on the receiving end of it. It's less ideal when it's against you. Virginia Tech's a good team. They're a Power 5 school. They have really good recruits, and their defense was hounding me today. I wasn't as in a rhythm as I was in the other games. And it just shows the talent level disparity that's within our game of college football. That feels that way. Akron didn't feel like too much of a challenge. FCS East did not feel like too much of a challenge. This felt like my first true challenge. I was excited for it, but it definitely got to me a little bit early. And I was able to make throws early in the game. Hitting our tight end, Konopka there for a pass on a corner route. I had Kyle on a seam route, and we had a lead. It was 10-3, I think, in the second quarter, but I was getting hit. I was used to getting hit. I wasn't used to getting sacked. And it was quite interesting just what it did to me. I felt like I was more rushed than I should have been. And I got hit before. But it was the first time where I was like drowning out there. And I still played decent, but it definitely was different. In the third quarter, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights were tied with the Hokies 10-10. Iovino at this point in the ball game only had about 100+ yards. Definitely a tougher environment than he's ever been in before. Definitely a tougher test he's ever been in before, and definitely a tough showing for Iovino. However, he was able to squeeze this ball in that just tipped around circus-wise and was in there for a touchdown. One of the more ridiculous plays you saw got on SportsCenter for just how interesting it was. And I asked him, I said, you know what, I threw the ball, guy wasn't looking, hit off his head, but Konopka was right there. Vic has always had my back. He's been one of my favorite targets to have. Almost picked off. That would have been devastating if we got picked off this close to the end zone. But he is able to come down with it. Over the middle of the field, he completes a pass here as a tied ball game. He's always loved these moments. Growing up a big Giants fan, he's seen guys like Eli Manning make these in the area he grew up in. Watch Peyton, watch Brady go down the field, do this. He is made for the moments like this. However, got a little too cocky here. Threw the ball in there, intercepted. Virginia Tech took over with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. A dangerous, dangerous pass. Now down by 20. Iovino with all the marbles. Here we go. I asked him about this fourth quarter. He said the adrenaline was pumping. Being in the situation in college for the first time on the road, the stadium, the field felt like it was shaking. It felt like an earthquake. In the beginning of the drive, it went well. We were making plays. We were moving up the field. We had plenty of time, plenty of timeouts. We were just moving up the field. I was getting hit still, but we had good play calling. Everything seemed great. Everything seemed fine. You know, we had like a minute left. Threw a ball that was completed to make it 3rd and 5. We hustled to the line. We had to go to an out route to try to keep this game going. And he was just short. It's 4th and 1. 45 seconds left. We called our final timeout just to make sure we had a great play. We had a good play. But it was so loud. I threw that pass and I let it go. And it got picked off. Oh, my heart. It sank. We lost. And it was my fault. But I threw a bad ball. I was quiet all rest of the day. Never felt that way. Iovino, Scarlet Knights did not end up winning against Virginia Tech. Oli's college career had its ups, had its downs to begin in the first part of his freshman year. He's resilient. He's a trooper. He's a fighter. I'm sure we're going to see the Oli Iovino story. See him get back in the saddle and shake off any doubts he ever had about him.